Early in the morning,
What's going on, people? It's your boy Cam, Topical Juice, and I'm back with a different kind of video today. I want to talk about Squid Game, as you can see from the title, because Squid Game is a very, very elite show for a number of different reasons, and I enjoyed it. It's very popular. It's gone global at the moment. Everyone's talking about it, and I believe since your boy is called Topical Juice and Squid Game's extremely topical right now, why would I talk about anything else? Yeah. So listen, I've got a lot to cover in this video. So let's get it cracking. Like the video for me, hit the bell to be notified for me, smash that thumbs up for me, smash that subscribe button for me, I meant to say. And obviously, if you want to support your boy's merchandise, please, you know where to find it. It's in the description below. So first things first, Squid Game is elite, as I said. What would I rank it off the cuff? 9 out of 10. Season 1, 9 out of 10. And I love the Easter eggs. I love the plot line. Okay? I love the characters. I love the character development. You know what I'm saying? I love all these things. So I think with all that, considering all of that, 9 out of 10, straight up. Now, I wanted to do this video because this show covers a lot of themes. It covers a lot about inequality. It talks about human nature. It talks about money, family, survival. These are all the things that this show talks about, and the themes that are kind of laced throughout the show. So let's take it from the top. The main character I forgot a man's name. The main character the main one, the guy who survives by the way, spoilers, obviously there's going to be spoilers throughout this thing. We're going to be talking about the whole show from start to finish, so there's obviously going to be spoilers. But the main character the one who dyes his hair red, forgot a man's name. We're introduced to him first. Now, he is a guy that's like down on his luck, down in the dumps, gambler, no money, uses his mum's bank account to gamble away, uses his daughter's like college fund or whatever it is, uses his daughter's fund somewhere or other to gamble and things like that. This is someone who makes poor choices, and he looks a bit like a clown at the start of the video, at the start of the show. But his journey is incredibly important, and his character development is incredibly important, because he starts off the show as like a jester, a bit of a clown, right? But he ends the show as the winner. Well, winner, but is he really a winner though? And that's maybe that's another topic as well. Maybe I can do another video on that. Anyway, and his character development is interesting. And at the start of the show, the start of the show in general, episode 2, I believe it is, we're faced with the why. And what I mean is we're shown why the main characters are entering the game in the first place. Because episode 1 obviously gets straight into the madness. Episode 1 introduced us to the game from the jump and gives us a bit of a taster of what we're in for. However, episode 2 is where we get the why. We get an in-depth look at why some of the people are entering the game. So you've got the main character himself, right? As I said, he's got no money. He's got a mum who's unwell in the hospital. His daughter, he needs peace. You know what I'm saying? So that's his why. Then you got Sang-woo, I think his name is. Sang-woo is our prodigy, the one who's incredibly intelligent, this, that, but also the fraudster who owes hundreds of millions of won to probably gangsters or the government or whoever. He's frauded, you know what I'm saying? So he owes a hell of a lot of money. Then you've got the girl who got like 9 million followers in a week or whatever, 9 million followers in a few days, something like that. She obviously has her mum to care for from North Korea, who is in North Korea there, but she also needs to look after her brother who's in an orphanage and things like that. So they've all got their why. You've got Ali, the Asian guy Ali. I think is he Indian? The Indian guy Ali. I think he's Indian anyway. Forgive me if he's not. I can't remember what ethnicity he was. But Ali, poor Ali, man. I can't lie. When he got quenged, he didn't deserve to go out like that, man. Ali did not deserve to go out like that, bro. But anyway, Ali was just broke, and I think he had kids and things like that. So they've all got a reason there. And the reason why I bring that up is because think about what they had been through before that episode. So episode 1, they had witnessed over 200 contestants being shot dead in the red light, green light game, right? They then voted to leave the game. They then go back to their shithole of a life, and then they end up going back into the game. Deep how desperate you have to be to witness hundreds of people die and think, I'm gonna go back into that game. Fully prepared and fully accepting of the consequences of the potential consequence, which is death. Deep the desperation. Now, it's a real interesting aspect of humanity, what humans are actually capable of when pushed. And that's a theme that Squid Game covers from start to finish. You know, as the show progresses, you see characters change and develop into worse versions of themselves. Some worse, some better. You know, Ali, better. The main character, better. Sang-woo goes worse and worse and gets worse and worse. The gangster gets worse and worse because they're desperate. Yeah, in their desperation, you can take a life. In their desperation, you can lie, you can cheat, you can steal, all to survive. Okay? Now, this is found heavily in Sang-woo. From the jump, you could tell Sang-woo wasn't that interested in what his friends were doing. If that makes sense. Like, Sang-woo is the prodigy, the smart one. He went to this college, he did this, he did that. But from the moment I got introduced to him, he didn't look like he cared about anyone else. Like, if I'm being real, if I'm being honest, and I knew he was gonna snake. I predicted that one. Now, obviously, it was glaringly obvious how his character arc was gonna develop from the gingerbread game. Is it gingerbread game? The honeycomb game. When he remembered the game, but he kept it to himself. That was the confirmation for me, which I already had suspicions of anyway. That was confirmation that he is gonna become a bad guy eventually, and he did. You know, the character development, the character arc of Sang-woo was a sad one because of his desperation and his debt. He became a bad guy. You know, he pushed that person on the bridge game, the glass bridge game. He pushed them, took a man's life. He took the girl's life. He stabbed her in the neck, killed her, and he tricked Ali. Oh my days! When he tricked Ali, yeah, I was pissed off because Ali is too nice. Ali was too nice, too trusting, too believing. That's a rookie. That's really a rookie because we saw Sang-woo's true colours there. Well, not true colours, but again, it's his desperation. It's desperation to make money. Now, before I talk about the ending and what it means and things like that, I want to talk about the games themselves. Okay. Now, the games are obviously children's games that they used to play when they were younger, and I think that's quite important because when you think of children's games and when you think of children in general, you think of innocence, you think of purity. Who remembers playing hopscotch back in the day in primary school? I remember hopscotch like it was yesterday, bro. Innocent, pure. And the idea is, when you play these games, there is no worries, do you understand? It goes to show the trajectory of your life and the hardship that your life goes through when you go from a child to an adult. When you're a child, you have no responsibilities. When you're a child, you have no worries. But turning into an adulthood, those games that were once innocent and pure, played as an adult, you die. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's a bit. Me personally, I like to analyze things, and the creators are very meticulous when they do things, and I do believe that was intentional. Do you know what I'm saying? I do believe that's a metaphor for literally adulthood, from childhood to adulthood, pretty much, and the hardships and difficulties that come with that. Something that was once pure and innocent is now costing you your life. And yeah, it just goes to show how difficult adulthood really is and growing up. Now let's talk about the games themselves. The first one, I definitely would have passed the first one, 100%. Red light, green light, all day. I would have patterned that one. The one I would have lost on, the honeycomb one, I would have got murked on that one. If I had the umbrella, I would have been like, yo, give me the gun, I'll shoot myself. Literally, I would have like, give me the gun, I'll quang myself, no problem. You know what I'm saying? The glass one, I wouldn't even participate. Shoot me in the head. Nah, I don't want to do that. Shoot me in the head. The marble one, I'd win, just cause I would do what Sang-woo probably did, manipulate somehow with my words. No, I wouldn't really, but I believe I would win the marble one, and I would win Squid Game. What other ones are there? What other games were there? I don't know. But the games are nuts. That glass game was so mad. Like, but what's quite interesting about the glass game, yeah, is that they changed the rules towards the end when they sussed out that one of them had figured out the game. Now this is key, because did or did not the front man say, yeah, when that whole organ like B plot line was going on with the whole organ donor, whatever black market stuff was going on, the front man categorically came out and said the beauty of Squid Game is that it's fair. It's about equality. It's about you all having, equal chance to win or lose, live or die, right? That's what he said. Now, that's a lie, because in the glass game, when the guy figured out like what glass is real, what glass is fake, or whatever, the strong one and the weak one, they turned the light down so that they could not see the reflection. That is do you know what that's a metaphor for? That is a metaphor for the rich and powerful, the ones who make all the rules, the ones who make all the laws. That is a metaphor for them constantly moving the fucking goalpost. Facts. That's exactly what that stands for. That's exactly what that means. That's not even how I'm interpreting it. That's just what it is. You can't tell me another interpretation of that, because that's exactly what it is. That is a representation of the elite, the 1% or the 0.1% moving the goalpost, changing the rules. As soon as the little man has an advantage, as soon as the little man might get themselves to a position where they can, a position of power or position to win, the rich and elite, they change it. Now that leads us on to the end of the show. I've got more to say, but let's talk about the main thing, the main issue, the ending. What does it all mean? Why? What is the Squid Game? Who created it and why? As you guys know, because you've already seen it, number one, our old man, Ilham, I think his name is Ilham, he is the mastermind behind Squid Game. Now, from what we see in the show, the Squid Game's been going on for about 30, 40 years, I think it is. I think 1988 or in the 80s was the first Squid Game. Okay, so we know it's been going on for a while. Now we find out at the end here that the old man, the only reason man was doing this is because he's bored. And it's as simple as that. Now it's this idea that when you have everything you want and you got all the money in the world and you've amassed a huge fortune, you no longer have purpose, or you struggle to find purpose. Now, this is a real interesting kind of theme in the show, because I completely disagree with that. With all the money in the world, if you gave me all the money in the world that old man had, I'm still going to have purpose. I'm going to change the world for the better. I'm going to build things. Did you let my loyal subscribers know I'm going to build infrastructure? I want to build bridges, schools, railways, roads, hospitals, all in Guyana, all in Nigeria, do you know what I'm saying? All across Africa. That's my goal. Give me billions and man will do that. But it's interesting that they explore the theme that once you have everything, like financially, what more do you want? What more do you need? That's why Ilham created the games, but also because the way he views humanity. Now this is a very, very interesting, because Ilham, the old man, number one, we'll call him number one, because I feel like I'm pronouncing his name wrong. But number one, yeah, he is similar to me in the sense that I'm not as cynical as he is, but he doesn't like humanity. He believes that humans are inherently selfish, flawed, and they only care about themselves. Now I agree with that. Bottom line, I agree with that. Humans are selfish, humans are flawed. Yeah, I've been saying that. In fact, I say it in my videos all the time, before I even saw Squid Game, do you know what I'm saying? So I agree with that. But where he goes wrong is he doesn't realize there's people out there with compassion that don't fall into that category. And that's what he learned with the main character. The main character that dyed his hair red, we'll call him Red. Yeah. When number one met Red, he found someone in him that he hadn't found before. But the end, the why, is literally because a whole bunch of rich people, yeah, number one, and a whole bunch of his rich friends, they didn't have much purpose, right? So they thought they would treat human beings like horses. The same thing that Red was betting on, he was betting on horses in episode 1. The irony is, he was a horse in someone else's game. Do you understand? That's the irony about the whole thing. And in fact, speaking about it openly right now, that's a metaphor for society, to be honest. I do feel like that. I do believe that the rich and the elite, they don't view us as human beings, right? Because deep it, all these people in government, they go to work the same way we go to work. The same way I see charts and figures and numbers of hundreds and this, that and the other, they see that as well. But the difference is the numbers they see on their sheet, those figures represent real life humans. So all those things, all those stats and figures and things like that these people in government are going to meetings and talking about, and there's a 10,000 here and whatever, they're real life people. And I think people in government here, they do treat ordinary people in society like they're cattle. 1 minute you can do this, 1 minute you can do that, 1 minute you can't, 1 minute you can. Number one is clearly like a gambler. He's always been a gambler. He likes playing kids games, so he thinks it's okay to treat humans like that because he believes humans would do the same if they could. But that's just not true. And we see that at the end when they have one final bet, where they have when he's on his deathbed about to die, he says, like, look, there's a man out there about to die from the cold. I bet no one helps him by midnight. And then obviously Red says, I bet against you. Now we see that someone does help him, but when the camera goes down to the old man, he's dead. So we don't actually know whether he saw the man get helped or not. Because if he did see the man get helped, his last thing he would have seen before he died was him losing that bet and his cynical nature being proven wrong. But if he did die before he saw the man get helped, he will die thinking that all humans are the same or all humans are bad. Now, I believe all humans can be bad. When you create a structure and a context in which they were forced in, or not forced in, but they chose to be in, then you'll see the worst in humanity. But either way, yeah, I want to round up on this. Was it all worth it? Is it even good winning this thing? Is it even worthwhile winning this thing, getting all that millions? In the context of the main character in Squid Game, it wasn't worth it. All that money he won was all blood money, for one. So he didn't want it because of all the people that had to die and sacrifice for him to get that money, right? It wasn't worth it in that sense. He's got survivor's guilt, he's guilty, okay? 2, his mum died. You know what I'm saying? His mum succumbed to her injuries or succumbed to her diabetes while he was in the game winning the money, yeah? That was one of the reasons why he wanted the money, so he could pay for his mum's medical costs. She died while he was winning it, yeah? His daughter has flown to LA, so he has no daughter in the country. So what was it all worth? What was it all for? It was all for nothing. And it's like a bittersweet ending because you're happy for him that he's won the money, but what was it all worth when you can't even give it to anyone? And that's why he doesn't spend it for a year. He stays bumming around for a year. A whole year he stays bumming around, not doing anything. And it just goes to show, what is it all worth when you can't even share it with someone, your loved ones or whatever? Now, the ending, yeah, for me, it kind of pissed me off a little bit because, one, I really wanted him to get on that plane and see his daughter because it's his daughter. But 2, he had got out of it all. Like, he had just got out of it, survived, and now he wants to go back in. But that year, again, that proves the point. Not everyone is bad. And that's something that I want you guys to take away, innit? Because not everyone's bad. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to be very cynical because I've seen the worst in humanity. Do you understand? I have. There's things that I have to carry with me for life, innit, that I can't tell anyone. And I've seen the worst in humanity, and so I know I grew up anti. You know, I grew up very cynical. But I do want to end on this. I think it's important to realize that while I believe that most people are flawed and most people are selfish, there's good out there, and I think Red shows that. Now, yeah, again, there's some theories that say he might take over and blah, blah, blah. I don't think so. I don't think he'll take over. I think that's a dumb theory still. So, yeah, I wanted to end on that while the world is shit and it's crumbling around us and petrol shortages here and a glorified flu there and all this, that, and the other, you know, it's nice to know that there is actually good out there, people that are willing to put a stop to this. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm trying to think. There's so many more things I could talk about. In fact, I don't want to wrap up here. I take that back. I'm not going to wrap up here. Let's talk about the front man. Okay, the front man. That twist was obvious. Obviously, the front man was going to be his brother. When did I clock that? I think I clocked that. I clocked that when the brother, the intruder, was looking through the documents of all the past Squid Games, and that's when he discovered that it had been going on from the 80s. It said his brother won the games, innit? It said his brother won the game, but he was still missing. So I thought to myself, if he'd won the game and he's still missing, he's obviously got to be part of the game, innit? And then the confirmation for me was when, the big confirmation is when they're faced with each other, the front man comes across the intruder. And he's like, and he pleads with him while his mask is still on, before he reveals himself, he's like, please. He's like, please, like, come with me and you'll stay alive. He says, please. I was thinking, please? Why would you say please? Unless you know my man. Unless you're related to my man. Do you know what I'm saying? So I sussed that one out. I didn't suss out the overall twist though. I didn't think it was the old man. Yet, as soon as I saw it was the old man, it all made sense. Because there was bare things that I saw, like when that, you know, that night where they were having that riot and everyone was getting murdered, all in the sleeping thing, and he jumped up on the thing and was like, oh, I'm scared, all this, that, and the other. When they stopped the game, I was thinking, what? Why would you stop the game? Because the old man's scared. They've never demonstrated any compassion or empathy throughout these games. Why would they stop it now? And now it makes sense because man literally created the games. He runs the games. He owns the games. He's been financing the games with all these rich buddies. Sorry, before I go as well, the colours. I want to talk about the colours. Now there's a theme here of red and green throughout the show, innit? And for me, it represents power. Red represents power and red represents the system. Because if you go back, you've got the red and green buttons, but you've also got the red envelope, the red and green envelope. You've got the workers, the people who have the guns and that, whatever, they're red, and the contestants are in green. Red seems to represent the system, it seems to represent power. And that obviously comes full circle when the main character, Red, dyes his hair red. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's symbolic of him taking control back over his life. You know, because you have to remember, he didn't do anything for a year. He was bumming around for a year, let his hair grow out, facial hair growing out, all bummy and shit. And then he dresses smart, suited and booted, gets his hair done. That's literally a symbolic of him regaining control of his life. He's now in control of his own life. He's now got the power back, do you know what I'm saying? And at least I'm really happy that he gave at least half of his earnings, half of his P's to Sang-woo's mum, who has adopted the girl's brother. So at least he's done his part there and helped out. But of course, he's still got a hell of a lot of things to want to do. Now, it looks like he's going to not board that plane no more, get back and pretty much rejoin the games to save other people, because that's pretty much how it ended. What's going to happen is he's going to go back into the game. Now, before I go, I'm going to end it here because I've pretty much covered a lot of things I want to speak about. I can speak about a lot more, but I just wanted to talk about that anyway. I'm going to end it here for my predictions for season 2, if there's going to be one. I believe they will carry it on. If they didn't carry it on, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think if they ended it here, that's quite a good place to end it, if I'm being honest. But I do want to see them carry it on, and I do believe he will now try to take down the front man and the games, because the games are still ongoing even though the old man's died. But I believe he'll have the help of the police officer. He'll have the help of the intruder, because the intruder is not dead. Yeah, the front man shot him in the shoulder specifically, and I knew that was going to happen as well, because I didn't guess it. The show's not predictable, but there's just certain things that I clocked in it. I'm a sharp guy, man. I'm a sharp guy. What can I do? But when he aimed the gun at him, yeah, I said out loud. But I think there was a witness. I was sat next to someone as well. I said he's going to shoot him in the shoulder, and if he does, that means he's alive. What does he do? Shoots him right there in the left shoulder, and he falls, and you never see him die. I believe that's because he's going to be back in season 2. He survived that fall, but as we know, the game's continued. So that means those messages that he sent the police officers, they didn't deliver. You know, he never stopped the games, he never exposed them. So maybe his phone died, maybe the signal died, maybe it got damaged in the water, whatever. So the games are still going on, but he will come back for season 2 and help the main character, Red, and they'll have to try and take it down together. But we'll see, man, who knows? Because as you saw in the show, Korea is not the only place that the Squid Games are on. Because one of the VIPs said in one of the episodes, Squid Games are my favourite one. Sorry, the Korean version is my favourite one, or something like that. So they must have European versions, African versions, bare versions of Squid Game going around. So anyway, I just wanted to talk on it, man, because I believe this show covered a lot of themes. So I might even go into the specific themes that the show explores. You know, is the money worth it? Is it this? You know, is things like that. I kind of want to explore things like that as well. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, man. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you stuck by this video all the way to the end. I want to know who my loyal subscribers are, man, because it's taken long to grow past. It's taken long to this 50,000. I want to know who's my loyal subscribers. If you made it this far, yeah, I want you to comment below. Squid Game is the GOAT. Yeah. You can throw a little GOAT emoji in there as well. You know what I'm saying? Squid Game is the GOAT. If you made it this far, Squid Game is the GOAT. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you lot at the next video. Peace.